Why does the best characters always got to take the L? They can't kill off anybody
Mm.
else but the best characters. Y'all could have killed off Mike. Y'all could have killed off Jonathan, and nobody would have cared.
You got a whole lot of characters and not nowhere near enough death for this to be a horror seasons. Stranger Things, Volume 4. So if you have not watched Stranger Things, Volume 1, 2, and 3, or have only watched Part 1 of Volume 4, I'm not going to give a summary for something that's been going on and is this popular. Like,
if you haven't been watching Stranger Things, why are you even here?
yeah. Like if this is going to be the moment you go, oh, maybe I should read this based off their review. You probably already missed the boat on this anyway. So,
like the people are like, I'm gonna wait till Game of Thrones comes all the way out before I watch it.
Right. But Jason, if you have to give a one sentence review of Stranger Things season Volume 4, what would it be?
Why does the best characters always got to take the L? They can't kill off anybody else but the best characters. Y'all could have killed off Mike. Y'all could have killed off Jonathan, and nobody would have cared.
True. My Stranger Things Volume 4 one sentence review is: you got a whole lot of characters and not nowhere near enough death for this to be a horror seasons. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and air my grievances on Stranger Things.
Go ahead and shit on this, Jason.
Because look, y'all know I love the genre. Y'all know I'm here for all horror, all suspense. Y'all know I love that shit. Guys, I want to be first and foremost to say I like Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things is a really good series. I think it's not perfect, but I think it's a really good series. I think season 1 is a classic. I think season 2 is a little tough. I think season 3 is a little better than 2, but a little tough. Season 4 is, I think, the baby of 1, 2, and 3. So you have the good with the bad. Let's start with like the good. And again, mind you guys, I like this series. I like this series a lot. And that's what frustrates me, that I like it so much when it stumbles and it falls. This series, good stuff. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. You could tell they got Netflix was like, hey, we're gonna back up the Brinks. How much ever money y'all need for episode, do it.
Pull it in.
Because we're here for it. Yeah. You can tell that very easily, very quickly when you watch this season. It looks amazing. The Upside Down looks phenomenal. Great. The characters are really good in this. Like, to the point, the characters are so good. You have that weird thing that you don't get in a lot of movies. Actually, that's going to probably be the theme of the movie reviews, where the scripting and the writing is kind of poor for the dialogue, but the actors are so well fleshed out and know their roles so well, they give it so much more life, than the words actually that were written or being said. So the acting here is phenomenal. Even though we crapped on Will and we crap on Jonathan, they have their moments.
I'm not crapping on Will. Whoa. Back up. I never crapped on Will. No one's crapping on Will.
We crap on his hair. We crap on his hair.
Oh, we crap on his hair.
We crap on the fact that he has nothing to do. Like, he literally for 3 seasons has had nothing to do but like be quiet and get kidnapped. That's what I mean. Crap on him. Like, they crap on the fact that the character has no urgency. That was more like just the development of him. Like, he has had nothing to do. So then they finally give him something to do. And the moments between him, Jonathan, and even the moments that Will has are really good in the second part of season 4. Other good things about it: the main story, going to like Hawkins, is phenomenal. It's great. Almost to the point that I wish I never saw anything else and just stayed with Hawkins. The California stuff gets a little better in the second part, but the first part it was pretty annoying. And then the Russian thing, I just wish it never existed, because Harper should be dead. So now we're going to go into the bullshit. Harper being alive is fucking bullshit, but I've already voiced my opinion about that. I ain't got to beat a dead horse on it. They should have killed Harper, because even when you do the reunion of it, it doesn't really mean much. It is nowhere near as exciting or pulls as much as it should, because we lost all our energy thinking Harper was dead, knowing that he wasn't dead.
And let's also be 100% clear. This beast took, 115 shots from AK-47s, yet falls to a sword. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I told you they're playing with Pacific Rim rules, and probably that sword was probably Excalibur. So, with all those
sword
things,
of Odin over here? Was it blessed in the blood of Jesus? Just lying around in Russia? Like, what the fuck?
Look, that sword was Excalibur, and no one's gonna tell me any different. I also like that it is so many homages to things that we love so much that, like the Michael Myers mask, the love interest of Robin looking like Molly Ringwald. Like, it's so many things in here. Again, even Hopper with the sword is awesome. I just hate the fact that where it was in the whole storyline, but that was awesome. It's so many things I like in here. But guys, the story writing is getting so poor that it's almost laughable now. And when I say this, I go, oh, Jason, this again. Like, yeah, but okay, think about it. Mike and Elle, biggest thing that bonded them together, besides, you know, him being the first real boy that she's seen,
the only boy she's seen,
was bullying. Like, bullying was the biggest thing that bonded them a lot. And then she goes to Cali and is getting bullied, and the one person you think she should be able to tell that to would be Mike. Who she helped beat up bullies for. But no, she hides it from him. And then Mike, on their turn, when he finds out she is getting bullied, he's like shocked. Elle, what are you doing? And it's like, she's beating up a bully, which you should have done, but you were too weak to do. Like, too bad that Elle's like a science experiment and a psycho, so that's why
she has no
action. Right.
She took that from 0 to 11 real quick.
Right.
Like, damn, you're supposed to beat her up, not trying to kill her.
Right. You just throw milkshake on you, bitch. You got a washing machine at home.
This is not the right retaliation here.
Right. The fact that anybody would trust the doctor, like, he's been slimy since we've met him. And it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to trust him to train Elle, right? Then you train Elle and she does all this. And then she gets to the end to fight, Vecna or Henry or one. And I think that's hilarious, too, that they have different names for him. And the show knew that was so stupid that they were like, we got to make jokes about this because people are going to be like, that's dumb. This dude has 3 names. Like, anyway.
I also love how the kids can come up with something and everybody's like, yeah, that's what we'll call it.
Yeah. Shout out to Dustin. Dustin's my dude.
I love me some Dustin.
So, but yeah. So, you go do this training, and then she does this training. Now, as a kid, she was able to whoop him. As an adult, who she should probably arguably be stronger, she's getting housed by this dude. And then, like, she's about to quit and give up. Like, you don't know the world's about to end if you fail. Like, come on, Elle. And then my last gripe, because I have a lot of other gripes, but I'm kind of keeping it concise to things that matter. One of the big things I say the story writing's poor is that I know if you watched our, episode 1 and 2 review when we had lovely Megan, Mama Steve on, I made the thing about Jason, about like, he's a bad guy, but his ways, methods are misguided. But I don't think he's like a bad guy in the sense that like he's evil. He just thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's doing it the wrong way. So you go full heel turn on him. But a scene between him and Nancy, which is literally only put in there to connect dots, but also to make it so you understand completely, without a doubt, he's a bad human being now. Okay, great. Why was this even done if you're going to do what you do to him that is almost not even noticeable? It made it so you basically
if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't even know that had happened.
Yeah. So you do all of this. So what, like fill in story time? Because I looked at the hours and counted them. You had a whole lot of time to tell a story that didn't need that dude in it at all. Like, at all. I guess, we needed a reason for Eddie to run. He could be running from the cops. It don't got to be this jock like that you. So it boggles my mind. And then my last full one is that, how are these kids still alive? How are these kids still alive? Like, and I'm not saying all of them have to die, but you could knock at least 1 or 2 of them off by now. And don't give me no Billy shit. Billy was the token, bring it to the story so he can be taken out of the story, like Stranger Things always does, which I'm fine with. But you have to make an escalating, rising amount of danger so that we actually feel like something could possibly happen to these kids. Stop killing people that don't really matter to the overall theme of this, because it makes your villains look weak. So all these big plans that Vecna and Henry and one have been doing has literally not worked for any portion of it. And don't give me the shit at the end. Oh, well, at the end, Jason, fuck you. That doesn't mean anything. Like, they'll find a way. Unless these kids will be dropping like flies, it don't mean nothing. You just did that shit to be so people will be like, oh, tune in for Stranger Things 5. Like, fuck out of here, man. Like, kill these kids, man. At least 2 of them should be dead by now. Easily.
Well, one's in the hospital, completely crippled. And that's sad for me. But honestly, the character they should kill off the most is fucking Mike. I feel like this story has outgrown him. Besides Hopper. Hopper should be dead too. But Mike is the only character that I can feel like that they can kill that will actually increase the stakes and not piss everybody off. It's Mike. And B, he's the only character that's like, besides Jonathan, is absolutely useless at this point.
Actually, the person that they should have killed, well, besides the one who sort of kind of, it should have been Steve. It should have been Steve.
No.
It made a lot of people mad.
No,
it would have made a lot of people mad. But it works perfectly. Hold on.
No,
why it works
Steve
perfectly
is a national treasure.
I understand that. That's why his death will be more instrumental if they let it go, because he has so many connectors between Dustin, Robin, and Nancy that makes. I mean, Steve is probably the most entertaining thing about the show outside of Dustin. You take him out of that equation, now they have to reckon with that loss, because that loss would hurt the more majority of the characters than any other loss.
I feel like Mike would be also a good candidate, because also he sucks, and let's just get rid of him.
I agree. So
because he would affect Nancy, he would affect all the boys, he would affect Elle. Yeah, let's just get rid of Mike and not Steve. Steve's a good guy.
But that's why I think more, because I think Steve's storyline has reached the completion of like his arc. So him being
it reached it in the beginning of season 2.
Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think it reached. I think it reached into the whole thing, because season 3 showed that Steve can be friends with women without trying to bang them. That's a huge thing. And then coming to his realization with him and Nancy, when he talks about, I wish I was the guy now back then. Like, that's the end of his arc. Like, he has nowhere else to go for season 5.
And see, it was also strangely progressive for an 80s dude.
Yo, 100%.
Because I grew up in the 90s, and if someone told me that in like 99, I would not have been as equally as just like, oh, cool, whatever. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
In 2011, I would have fucking probably been a terrible.
But I think Steve's storyline is the only one that has enough gravitas, and they've done enough of that character that his exit would have been hugely disturbing, messed up. I mean, hell, they even tried to tease it twice.
Yeah.
They ended one episode with him getting bit, and then you have him in an RV talking about, oh, I wish I had kids and I just dream. Like, you did all the stuff to be like, this dude died.
Oh, this guy's dead.
And you were like, nope, psych your mind. Oh, and also, too, guitars on top of mobile homes, the best shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, my God.
And thank you, Stranger Things, for giving that to me. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. All right, that's my beast with it. That's my review of it. I love it so much that it makes me hate it, because I feel like they get lazy. There you go. Jason, what are your thoughts on Stranger Things Volume 4/Season 4?
I fucking love this show. I love the characters, except for Mike and Jonathan. They can die. Like, it's the only real like critique. There's 2 real critiques I have. Is that, well, actually, let's go with 3. As you said, like the California stuff and the Russia stuff wasn't as very interesting, especially the California stuff. For me, is like all their whole entire storyline was like, let's get to Elle, then Elle will do something about this. And like, there's no, like, they have nothing. There's no agency. There's like in Hawkins, they're like, oh, we got to fucking figure this shit out. And every one of them, even down to little old Erica, like came up with something to do. And they all went in there to go fucking stop the shit. Whereas their plan was like, let's find out where Elle is. And so like, I hate to say, with the exception of Argyle, who's kind of sick, was getting old with me after the end of the show. Yeah, all those motherfuckers could die. Like, get rid of them. And I don't want to be like the Silence of the Gays, or the kill your gays trope, where they kill Will off because he's gay. But like, at this point, like, he hasn't really added to the story. Mike hasn't really added to the story. Jonathan definitely hasn't really added to the story. They're just there, and it's like, get rid of them. Just get rid of them. My other big gripe, and you've talked about this, I feel like they have been circling around the fact that Lucas and Erica are black so much. They realize they're black, but they need to get somebody in there who is actually black to punch it up a little bit. Because I was excited when Lucas fucking finally put the business to Jason. But he should have put that business to Billy first. Because at least, I mean, like, I knew Jason was a villain from the moment he stepped on a white captain of the basketball team. Villain. All right. Unless he's Larry Bird.
Touche.
But if you're talking about his real nemesis, he should have put the work in. I mean, but obviously he's not a 20-year-old man now. Back then he was still like 14 when they shot that shit. So like, it probably would have been less believable that skinny little Caleb McLaughlin would have beat up Billy, in that thing.
Right, right, right.
But he should have put the business in the bill. I need somebody of color to come in there just to be like, yo, these two kids are growing up in white America. And y'all know this. Y'all have mentioned this. I need y'all to
Mm-hmm.
like make them at least give them their dialogue to be more realistic. Um, but other than that, I love this show. Um, I particularly loved Eddie. He was my favorite. I mean, like obviously as a guy who plays D&D, I thought I saw this thing on TikTok is like that's who every D&D player think they are is Eddie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like we want to believe that we're that guy. Like and he proved to be the coolest motherfucker in the end. So like and playing fucking Master of Puppets on fucking in the underground and the upside down, fucking
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Just work of art. Work of
Yeah,
art.
like they could have just ended the show just up and I'm like that's
Right,
fine.
right. See you next year for season 5, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we did it.
I'm here. Yeah, you got me. Yeah.
Moving to high fiving and everything. Because like the best thing about the show is that it does nostalgia so well without like hammering you on the head with it. Like nowadays, like the nostalgia thing is like, hey, you remember this thing? Hey, remember that thing? And this is the only thing we're just doing member berries here. Whereas this one is like, we are putting this a part of the show so that, yeah, we're making a reference to it, but it's not like we are like focusing the camera and winking. Ha ha. See the Michael Myers mask? Wink, wink. Like, of course they
Right,
would have had a
right.
Michael because it's the 80s or whatever. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's nostalgia without the self-congratulatory hand job that that everybody else does. Like, hey, we did it! Ah, here we go. Like, so that's what I really love about the show. But yeah, that's it. Um, it's great. It's still a good show. The characters are there for it. They could have
Mm-hmm.
killed off everybody in Russia too,
Oh, yeah, 100%. I
except for
mean,
Jaka Hagar. He was pretty good. I liked him. The only
it
part
shouldn't
because
have been in Russia because
yeah,
Harper should have
Hopper
died.
should have
Harper
died.
should
He
have
should have
died.
died. 100%. They should have shown his dead corpse.
Like it just now and again the next movie we're going to talk about. I mean, I think a lot of shows or things have villain issues. Like and you're right. I mean, I've read your work and I think it's very fleshed out. I've always been taught sometimes like the best concept for your thing is sometimes starting with your villain and working your
Mhm.
world out from there. Because usually the villain is the one that's oppressing, so that
He's the
shapes
one
the
that's
world.
driving the story.
Right. I feel like Stranger Things has a villain problem because now is having Vecna an upgrade over the previous villains? Yes, because you actually have someone that can talk, interact, and actually point to a
How,
direction, except for a mindless like being or animal
yeah.
or beast or demon or whatever. But even with adding that ability to explain yourself, I think we lose a little bit of menace because it your villain can't be perceived as a threat if it doesn't do anything threatening to anybody that matters.
Yeah.
Especially a gentleman who is walking into this whole situation with two goals, destruction and stopping or killing Ale. You don't really do any of those well because from our knowledge of this, he could have killed 4 random people anywhere and started this apocalypse.
Yeah. Or at
So
least the
we are you
Hawkins.
yeah. So the premise would have to be that you did this to get L's attention, like or like I just can't wrap myself around why
he
those people like it just
he's
and
Lord
for all the
Voldemorting
talking
it.
he did, he never
He's picking
explained
a
that. For all the talking,
he's picking a fight with a child when he realized like you could just like not fight the child. Like
or start the end of the world and then fight the
fight the
child.
child, yeah. And then put him even more so on the back foot. Like you could just get out. Like a lot of villains, and this is like a trope of villains, is like, I got to fight you. I did this all just to fuck you up. And you're like, if you didn't do any of this, you could have probably won very easily.
Yeah, yeah, and then still fuck me up because you would have had the
Don't
resources
fuck me
now.
up afterwards because I would have been fucked.
I hate that. I hate that because I see it so much being done with villains now. Like you have to give them a threat. You have to be a threat to the hero, unless you're writing something else completely different. That your villain isn't required to be a threat to the hero. Maybe like some of the best Superman stories with Lex Luthor isn't Lex trying to kill Superman. It's Lex trying to frame Superman's image and destroy
Yeah.
that about Superman. Those are more intriguing because now, like, punching Lex is easy, but having to fight the money and the resources of Lex to destroy you image wise is a whole other battle that requires more than just physical strength from a person who's physically strong. I guess more and more we're seeing people take less sight into what makes the villains actually a threat to the heroes. And it's just, I don't, and what it is just lazy writing. That's what it called it, what it is. It's lazy writing. Because you could have literally had these random killings in these manners that could have red flags that didn't need to be connected to the characters at all. And that could have been like the thing. And then also, why wasn't he trying to do this like in Cali or different other areas? And I know you need a gate to be opened up, but you had enough people run through these gates already in Hawkins that they could have gone to the place.
I mean, the whole entire child is traumatized. Like, you could have picked 4 kids and bop them. Or you could have picked 4 of the Stranger Thing kids. Like, they're 4 guys. Every last one of them has trauma. You could have fucked it. You could have started the show off by inflicting a major wound to the person you're trying to kill by killing one of their friends, particularly Mike.
Now, if that would have been a scenario, yes, Mike would have been the perfect candidate for that. Straight up and down.
And then you could have been going after Max, or like, and that would bring urgency to it. Like, yeah, there's a little urgency after they kill the first 2, and now it's Max. But like, if it was like Mike and then Max, you know, it's like, oh shit, he's actually coming for us. Now we got to really, really do. Now there's stakes. There is pressure. There's skin in the game. And it's not just, oh, we got to sacrifice the Bob of the season, you know. Like,
right.
We got to make you love him, and then he's dead because we made him love him, but he really wasn't important anyway. Like, stop doing that shit. Like, Bob should be alive, and Eddie should be alive, and Mike should be dead.
For all the hours they spent, you're right. They could have condensed a lot of this season and made it very epic. So let's say you do the original 2 kills, and Max is the third. The worst thing about the Max thing is like you build up this moment and you lower it by like the MacGuffin of the music thing.
Yeah.
And you literally use that ability to take away all the tension from her ability. I forgot that she would still be haunted by him. Like halfway through the watching, I was like, oh yeah, I guess she still does have to carry that in case, because they never made it seem like he was ever coming back for her. Like,
yeah, it sounded like the very next day he's like, I got you again. Like, oh, here's some more music. Like,
right.
Oh no, I'm busy. I'll get you when I get to it. When the story serves, I need to get to you.
I'll come around when you're not Kate Bush.
I'm very busy doing other things in the Upside Down. I'm watching, do you ever hear the show called Game of Thrones? I'm watching that now. Like, so I'll get to killing you in a minute. I got to torture Nancy first. I don't know why. I got to make sure she knows everything. Even though I could have probably just told you because I was going to kill you anyway. But you got away, so you could have probably been the same. We could have done this at one time. Like, oh, here's my plans.
100%. Or you know what? I just killed Nancy, and it would have triggered, the last part.
She could die too.
Yeah, and it would have triggered it, and we'd have been like, "Oh, the end of the world's coming because they just killed Nancy." Because
and maybe that would have given Jonathan some motivation. I don't know, so he could actually have a character in this shit.
Oh, God.
Instead of just being in the background looking stupid and old. Like, how old are you? 39 now? Like, Jesus Christ.
It's funny. The more I complain about this, the more you're like pointing out more stuff that I didn't even notice. But again,
I like this show.
Yeah, I like the show. I enjoyed majority of my time watching it. I have a couple of moments of eye rolling, but it's just because of the weak story. And I think sometimes, and again, I'm only harping on the weak story because you damn near gave us 12, 13 hours worth of content. And basically what you're telling me is that you should have given us 8 or 9 hours worth of content, and this wouldn't be so much issues because you could have kept the pace going pretty quickly and eliminating some things. But when you give us that much content with poor story writing, it feels like you didn't know what you were doing and what you could do. So your wheels was turning in the sand and in the mud until you can get to the end of the story. Like Netflix was like, hey, you got 13 hours, fill it up. And that's what it felt like. You were trying to fill up 13 hours.
Fuck, we got 13 more hours. Oh, we only got like 6 hours of story left. Oh, fuck.
Right. And that's what it felt like for me.
Kate Bush. Is she popular? Does anybody know who Kate Bush is? Oh, who cares? She'll love this.
So, Jason, if you had to rate Stranger Things season 4, 5 being great, 1 being terrible, what would you rate it?
4 out of 5 because the best character got to take the L. 2 of the best characters got
Wow.
to take the L, and that's pissing
Ooh.
me.
When I give this rating, Stranger Things fan, and please remember, I like the series. I enjoy
They don't
Stranger
care.
Things.
They don't care.
me and my daughters are rewatching. Especially my youngest is rewatching it from season 1.
Oh, my kid's too afraid, and he's 2-3 years older than your kids.
He's way older than my youngest. My youngest only 7.
Yeah,
Like,
he's twice your youngest's age.
Yeah, right. So my rating to this, I will give Stranger Things season 4 a 2.8. It's a lot of poor writing I can't get over.
You got to hate mail, man. You about to.
Oh, I know. As I said, don't hate me. I like the series. To put this in perspective, we were doing the show. If we were doing the show for seasons 2 and 3, I probably would have gave season 2 a 2, and probably would have gave season 3 a 2.5. So if you want to feel that way, it is higher on my scale than the previous seasons. And 1, I probably would have gave a 5 or 4.8.
Season 3 a lower score because all them kids in the Russian compound should have got just shot. Because why are the Russians like, oh, kids in our base, we should tie them up? Like, no, they would have just shot you and thrown your dead bodies in the fucking in like their dead body pile and never thought about it ever again. Like, also, I don't understand how the Russians can have a whole base under a mall in America. Like, I think that's a good idea, but I don't write for fucking TV, so I'm sorry.
Look. They called Jordan Peele and was like, hey, those underground tunnels in America, they're still empty? Okay, we'll use them. All right, so yes, we gave it a 4, and I gave it a 2.8. Yeah.
So that's like a 3.5 collectively. Right. That's how averages work.
If they don't, we're going to make them work like that from now on. So, okay, guys. Welcome. Thank you again for listening to another episode of the N-Word for Nerd podcast. As always, your host, Lord Jason, and Lord Jason gave you the unfiltered,
the Lord's Jason
view of everything going on here. But guys, again, thank you all for watching and listening. If you could always do us a favor by hitting that like button, the thumbs up,
share,
and making sure you subscribe. Yes, absolutely. And share our content. We really would appreciate that. But Jason, you got any final words for everybody?
Yeah, just be kind, be considerate, and tip your servers and bartenders at least 20%, if not more, if you can afford it. And yeah, that's it. Nothing about you.
And hey guys, again, thank you guys for listening. We will see you all next week. Peace.